right, welcome back to the WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Told you we had guests, but you know, the guests they come from far and try hit all the spots in city, and you know, and I guess we have high respect for my brother Eworth Garbutt, who really needs no introduction. He's joined us. He spent multiple mornings in 2024 with us, being on the active part. I don't call it the war part. The active part.
Definitely.
And you've brought along with you this morning Costas Chris. And Costas Chris might not be familiar to you guys, but from what you've shared with me, this is quite a guy with, you know, celebrated, renowned, environmental consciousness along with tourism advocate, and there's a legacy of work available online, a documentary that's available on YouTube. Eworth, please introduce your guest.
Yes, man. No further ado, this man globally known now, Mr. Costa Chris. He has been over 130 countries around the world in at its motion, and actually 6 different continents. But straight to the point is, when you hear about sustainable tourism, tourism comes for 3 things. They come for culture, me and you. They come for nature, how the environment stay, and they come for the community. Somehow what we do right now are big numbers. We look for numbers. We know the check will change. We listen to the noise that the market. So Mr. Costa, I really need to hear from him directly, but with his experience, he and my neighbor for a long time, and we just had an organic conversation, and boom, this thing come up. My wife ended up telling me about the last tourist I see this thing. I said, wow, if we could learn from other people's mistakes, we better listen than that. But no further ado, I want to make Costa, and then all in battle where we fight, instead of fight just one at a time. The movement and plan today, that start the conversation where I continue for generation to come. Go ahead, Costa.
Well, first of all, good morning to everybody out there, and thank you, Mose, for welcoming me. I know we don't have a lot of time today, but we can maybe touch on a couple of key things. I think we can all agree here that tourism is vital to the country of Belize. It has been extremely important to the economy. So the question on the table isn't, do we want tourism or not? The question on the table is, what kind of tourism do we want, and what kind of tourism is good for the country of Belize? And Belize...
Is it too late to have that question, or...?
No, I don't believe it's too late. I don't believe it's too late. I think there's still that opportunity, and let me give you a couple examples. Some of your viewers may not know. You know, a lot of people believe that Costa Rica is the birthplace of sustainable tourism. Well, I would differ with that, because the first global conference was held in this country, Belize. Okay? So Belize has a long-term stake in the idea that tourism has to deliver positively for nature, for culture, and most importantly, for local people. That's the 3 pillars of sustainable tourism. 20 years ago, in March of 2005, I was asked by the community of Placencia to come down there and help coordinate a meeting that would result in the Placencia Sustainable Tourism Development Plan. That plan was accomplished in 2005. That plan is the voice of Placencia elders and Placencia youth and Placencia community members and Placencia families and other stakeholders. That plan is important, the first in the country of Belize, because 20 years later, today, Placencia has the opportunity to look at what was done 20 years ago. Some of the elders aren't with us anymore, where they laid out their vision for what they believe tourism should be for the community of Placencia to bring benefits to the people and to celebrate its cultural and natural heritage. So in March of this year, the 20th anniversary, Placencia will gather again the youth, stakeholders, and others to look at that plan. What did we get right? What should we be concerned about? And what do we need to do tomorrow? As the great Bob Marley sang, you need to understand your history to know your destiny. So why is this important? Why is it just not another plan? because this plan provides a benchmark. This plan included such details, including aerial photography, that we know every house that was on the peninsula 20 years ago, every road. We know every mangrove. We know what the beach looked like. We can now look at that information, and the community of Placencia can look at that and say, how have we changed? Is this the kind of change we want? We succeeded in some areas. Why didn't we succeed in others? And let's move forward with awareness and with a sense of purpose.
Quick question. Placencia did that exercise 20 years ago. Any other prime tourist destination in Belize followed or has anything equivalent?
Well, Belize embarked on a national level sustainable tourism plan in the year, if I remember correctly, 2012. Right around 2011 and 2012. That plan and its results, I don't know where that is right now. I am aware of it. I wrote the terms of reference for that plan to be carried out by an agency. So really the most important answer to your question is that Belize from the beginning, going all the way back to 1992, has been talking about the importance of tourism delivering to protect natural and cultural heritage and provide tangible social and economic benefits to uplift its citizens. The question for Belize and Belizeans like Eworth and others, yourself, are asking, has it delivered for us? Where has it delivered? How can we make it better? Tourism is not something you just talk about and then put on a shelf. It's a living, breathing thing, Mose, and I'll put it this way, and I know we don't have a lot of time, but I think this might help at least understand the perspective the way I view it, and your viewers. Tourism's like fire. Out of control, it will lay waste and devastate a country. It can destroy your heritage. You can lose your language, you can lose your culture, you can lose everything. Tourism alone can spread out of control. Who among us would go through a village in a dry season of thatch and just be tossing behind us pieces of fire and not look where it lands and what it's burning? That would be crazy, right? Tourism's the same way. Fire, when it's out of control, is dangerous. When it's in control, we cook our food, we stay warm on a cold night. You can make an argument that our ability to manage fire is what gave birth to civilization. Well, here's the thing. Tourism must be managed. It cannot run itself. And that's where sustainable tourism, based on 3 key pillars, is essential to guide this forward. Nature, culture, and community.
Moza, you're a man always know how to sell the story or get it to the viewers. You think we'd feel warm? We'd get it, we'd cook with food, we'd feel the vibes? Because listen,
I don't know if I'm the right person for us because I lean to cynicism all the time.
Good.
So naturally I hear that. I love the fact that there is going to be a process to examine how close or how far we are away from what we wanted it to be. One, that's great, and I will await to hear the outcome of that process. I love the fact that there's an actual comparison going to be done, that is going to be it's not just a anecdotal thing. We have hard data to say where we are, so that's great. So I want to be informed by that. But just intuitively and anecdotally and from my vibes as a human being, I find, I've commented, I've said it a lot of times, we get A+ for rhetoric. We have some of the most beautiful rhetoric on record.
Definitely.
If rhetoric made you excellent, we would be the best there is on planet Earth. Very often I find that we are schizophrenic. We speak a thing, we say we are this, but then for some reason we are going to be conveniently absent-minded and forgetful about what we said we wanted out of convenience, out of profit, and we go completely on the other side of that spectrum. So we say we want sustainable, but if somebody comes with the right money, they could chop down all the mangrove when they want to chop down. That's who we are. But we can tell you we love mangrove.
Definitely.
We can tell you how we have legislation to protect mangrove. But if there is a copper to be made chopping down some mango, we are the ones who are bring the machete. Unfortunately, that's who we are.
Before I even got at the government BTV, I blame myself in the sense we need to keep this at the forefront. This conversation we're having today and tomorrow and for the next generation, this one continue more. This you see the Lee Wilbauer flat, the different thing. These are not single-handedly out. Now we'll keep this in record. You said that you're serious about protection. Now we have to echo it out. Then people that drop asleep behind the hem and we they are loading. So once with your permission, this will be a monthly pan a minimum. When Costa, when whatever friend I got friend that's San Pedro to PG, we need to hold these people accountable. And I'll give you a simple 2 cents to beg you. I want you to go wrong and ask. Since the pie is getting bigger, because now we got this big pie, we increase the number, we're in a billions, 1.4, I think the projected 2024. How much that pie for you Eworth, for Warren, for the next man, how big a for no slice to get? First of all, and not even in a slice if we talk real, the slums. Make we talk the real truth about tourism because we need it. We don't have no choice now. We don't sell and that's what we're there. How long for the next generation? I know I'll be guilty. They tell the next generation, I wasn't a part of making that change for left something for no. So the conversation start today, and thanks Costa and the community, everybody who have set the trend whereby Belize as a small nation, God bless you with so much wealth. We for be trendsetters, not followers. Costa said something on the way up that resent on the head. There's no example of destroying nature for tourists that's sexy. Everybody don't find out that wrong. But it sounds like we got to push our hand way in the oven and cook ourselves, not just with hand, to make we understand it. We don't allow it.
Boom.
Enough
you know what? There will be main course. This happens to be just the appetizer to this conversation. And so we look forward to booking a date. It could be this week as soon as we can arrange it with Eworth. We're going to more than likely do it by Zoom because I can't expect the man to come all the way back up. Yeah. But we will continue and have main course in this conversation. We want to thank you both for still giving us the 10 minutes and just, doing it so compactly. Respect is due.
Mose, if I can, you started by saying, is it too late? It's not for this country. I honestly believe that. I believe Belizeans are committed to these ideas, and also the government has supported these ideas. So now that we know people are supporting these ideas, we need to make them implemented.
I always appreciate those who bring optimism. I tell you, there's never a time I don't need a little bit of optimism because it's hard. It's hard being positive. It's hard thinking that we are going to work this out and somehow self-correct and be a better version of ourselves. But if you feel like we have time, then I don't.
Follow with action.
But there is a great urgency.
We don't have endless time, but we have time. It's not too late.
Well said. Guess what? Thanks. I got to go to. I don't have any more time this morning. That's for sure. I got to go to my final break and come back and wrap.